everyone and welcome to the great outdoors. I figured for my little section I'd come out and about to tell you a tale about love, loss and TimeSplitters 2. Well, okay, there's not really any love in there, but there's a lot of loss, mainly of my hard work, and there's a bit of TimeSplitters 2 as well. So I'm guessing that most of you out there have probably already heard about the TimeSplitters 2 unlock code in Homefront: The Revolution. The news was that people had discovered a code that unlocked the full campaign of TimeSplitters 2 in Homefront: The Revolution. Us here at Eurogamer, we got some contacts, we got some secret sources, and we managed to get our hands on the unlock code for the campaign about a week before it was made public. And so, because I'm basically the only person on the entire Eurogamer staff that's unlucky enough to own a copy of Homefront: The Revolution, I was asked to play through the game and verify that the code actually worked. And I tell you what, it was a pain in the ass. Homefront: The Revolution is not a good game. It's buggy, it's glitchy, and I hated every moment. But Thursday night, I managed to enter the code and I managed to confirm its existence. It was exciting. It was like, whoa, no one's ever done this before, or at least no one's done it recently since the game was released. So the next day rolls around and I set to work writing a script. It took a good portion of the day to write. After I'd done all that, there was a few hours left until the weekend, so I thought, why not crack on with my edit? And it started off really well. I was especially pleased with this little glitchy intro I did. And how about this little build-up I did at the beginning to, you know, warm you all up for the main event? And in this world-exclusive video, I'm going to be showing you precisely what you need to do in order to unlock the full 4K native TimeSplitters 2 campaign for yourself in Homefront: The Revolution. God damn, I love punctuating my sentences with explosions. So that was the first quarter of the video done. I watched it all back to make sure it was all right, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty bloody good, Higton. You've done a good job there. Go get yourself a cup of tea, put your feet up, and check Twitter. So that's what I did. Made myself a cup of tea, went upstairs, opened up Twitter, and the first thing I bloody saw was this. A Twitter thread not only completely blurting out the code that we thought we had world exclusive for, but also a bunch of other codes that we didn't even know existed. So in the world of news, an event like that is basically game over. All that work I'd put in work hours and out of work hours at night, was all wasted. It was just an unavoidable loss, really. Oh, there's a squirrel. And it's a doggy. But that's just the way things go in the world of news. Sometimes you can work really hard on something and then you get scooped on Twitter. It's not the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last time it happens. But at least it means I'll never have to play Homefront: The Revolution ever again. Oh, and I also saw a squirrel, so that's nice, isn't it? Bye!
Resident Evil Reverse, Resident Evil Resistance, Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, Resident Evil Umbrella Corps, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, Evil Outbreak. Why? Look, I get it, okay? Not a lot of gaming franchises can reach their 25th anniversary without a little bit of reinvention and risk-taking. Okay, that's enough alliteration. But seriously, Resident Evil has reinvented itself a lot over the last 25 years, and sometimes that's been for better, and sometimes for worse, because you don't get the thrilling highs of Resident Evil 2 Remake or Resident Evil 7 without some, missteps. But I understand trying out or getting carried away with story-based elements in a long-running series that's known for its story and atmospheric horror. What I don't get is why Capcom seems so intent on throwing money at multiplayer elements that nobody is asking for. Look, I'm not saying the studio shouldn't try new things, and honestly, I'm kind of impressed how they keep finding this money to try these experimental titles. But it just seems like time after time they make these co-op or competitive spin-offs, slap a tenuous link to the overall RE lore on them, and everyone, RE fans included, just pretend they do not see them. I just don't think anyone is interested. And then more recently, with titles like Resistance and Reverse, Capcom doesn't even give people the option of buying those games themselves. They just bundle them in with the games that people actually want, and I guess that's just their way of getting them into people's hands at all. So I guess what I'm wondering is, what's the end game? What's the end game for Capcom, Kitty? I mean, why do they keep trying to make these multiplayer titles? Like, do they just is it all experimental? Is it because that's their long-term plan? Is it because they think that's what they should be doing? I don't know. What do you think? It's all a bit of a mystery. I guess I just don't get the end game. Why is Capcom so determined to break into the multiplayer market, despite the fact that players have told them time and time again that it's a single-player experience that they want? What do you think? You prefer it as a single-player experience, don't you? That's what I told everyone too. Oh, God.
Hey everyone, Editing Zoe here. I was just busy fiddling with Aoife and Ian's bits of this news video when I stumbled across a news story that made me real angry. So I thought, what better thing to rant about for today's news segment? So basically, one of the writers from Days Gone, that PS4 game that came out a while back and doesn't want you to call their freakers zombies, has an opinion that I do not agree with in the slightest, and I'm pretty sure most of you are going to agree with me too. What he said was, and I quote, "I do have an opinion on something that your audience may find of interest, and it might piss some of them off. Mission accomplished. If you love a game, buy it at fucking full price. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got that on sale, I got it through PS Plus, whatever." John Garvin's obviously a little bit salty because we just found out that Days Gone didn't get renewed for a sequel, but suggesting that that's the fault of gamers who don't want to pay full price for a game is really unfair and kind of ignorant as well. In a time when games are now routinely costing around 80 quid each, it seems really unfair to lash out at gamers who simply want to save some money and who also might want to wait a little bit until after release to see all the patches that have been implemented in the game, because it's happened more than one time that a game comes out, there are quite a few bugs like Cyberpunk 2077, and the people who have shelled out for a pre-order or bought it on the day of are actually at a disadvantage because they might not be able to play the game or it's not the experience they were promised. So people have learnt to wait like a couple of months or maybe even years and wait for the Steam sale to buy that game when they know it's at a standard that makes it playable, but also a standard that they'll enjoy because they don't feel like they've just thrown 80 quid down the drain on a game that had so many bugs that they couldn't play it, or a game that, like I said before, simply did not match up to the experience they were promised. And there's no harm in that. I've done it, you've done it, I'm sure a lot of other people have done it. You see a game for like 30 quid in the Steam summer sale with all the DLCs, like The Witcher, even though it routinely gets cheaper than that now, and it's a great buy because you've waited long enough not only for there to be DLCs, but everything in it has been fixed, and you're not like an extra 50 quid down the drain. Now, that's not saying that if you buy things on the day of release or if you pre-order things, you're somehow like, I don't know, less of a gamer. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying it's really mean to lash out at people who want to wait for the price to go down just because your game didn't get a sequel. Also, his quote is just kind of a bit weird. He says, if you love a game, buy it at full price, but how are you supposed to know you love a game without playing it? And how have you played it without paying full price for it on the day it came out? I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, in the age of demos, then you might have played a demo of it, but I don't know. Also, consider the fact that at the moment we, as a planet, are going through a pandemic when people are furloughed, might be out of work, or are working from home and trying not to lose their tiny little minds, like me. In these times, we're all trying to save money because we have no idea what's going to happen in the future, if there's going to be a lockdown, if we're not going to be able to go outside or go to our jobs or whatever. So we might not want to spend like 80 quid in a game when that is like, I don't know, for me that's 3 weeks worth of food. We might want to wait for it to come out in a sale or like on Games Pass or PS Plus or whatever. It's just like, have a little bit of sympathy, come on. You can't really blame anyone for being wary about how they're spending their money at the moment. Can you? No. So I'm here making a cup of tea, and I just thought I'd check through the article to make sure I got my facts straight and stuff, and I did realise that David Jaffa, who did the interview with John Garvin in the first place, did actually ask, how are you supposed to know if you love a game if you haven't played it yet? To which John Garvin said, yeah, okay, fair enough. But then he said, don't complain if the game doesn't get a sequel if you didn't support it at launch. And to me, that seems kind of unfair. Why hold us responsible for decisions that are way above our pay grade? There are so many reasons why a game might not get a sequel. Critical acclaim might not have been that great when the game came out, which was the case for Days Gone, and loads of other reasons that I don't know because I don't sit in Sony boardrooms deciding what's going to get a sequel or not. I don't know, it's just kind of, to me, yet another hole in the always buy games at full price if you love the game argument. So, yeah, that's it. Continue buying games on sale, friends, because that's what I'm gonna do.